Hey there, Danny here. Welcome to my ramblings. So I wanted to come on here and share with you in between delivery shifts. I wanted to come on here and share with you, excuse the AC, it's getting warm here in the Great Desert again. Yay! I can wear my dresses and skirts. Anyways, I came on here because I wanted to share with you. Fear holds a lot of people back, and change brings about a lot of fear. So a lot of people are, when change comes, it sends them into the, oh my God, I'm afraid. The story of how I learned to take control of my fear is actually a rather funny story. So anybody who knew me prior to my kids being in grade school, I was terrified of spiders. I mean, to the point of, if I saw one, I would come screaming out of the room and somebody else would have to go take care of it, because I couldn't. Even if it didn't jump, I was still terrified that it was going to jump and land on me. So I had this irrational fear of spiders. Horrible fear. And one day, my kids were, I think, 4 and 5 at the time, maybe 5 and 6, I don't know. And I went to go get in the shower. Nobody else was there. I was married to the second ex-husband at the time. He was working, and it was just me and the kids. And I went to get in the shower, and there was literally a spider, like, right in the shower, right where I needed to get. So there was no way I was getting in that shower. And I tried to wash it down with the water, but that didn't work too well. So anyways, I went out and I asked my 5-year-old, who may have been 6, we'll just say 5 for the easiestness of explaining this. So I went out and I asked my 5-year-old if he could go grab some toilet paper and grab the spider and flush it down the toilet. Mistake number 1. I raised boys. I had no idea what I was in for with those kids. Anyways, they kept me on my toes. Thank God I was young when I had them. I think I was 18 with the first one and 20 with the second one. So I was still young. And they got this wise decision, because they know that I'm terrified of spiders. They knew this. This was not a secret. So my 4 and 5-year-old are chasing me around the apartment with this spider in the toilet paper, and they're trying to touch me with it, and they are laughing and having the time of their life. What are you afraid of, Mom? It's a little spider. And I'm yelling at these kids and running from them and I'm hopping over couches. I'm literally running from these kids, and I'm threatening them. I'm telling them straight up, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna kill you if you touch me with that spider. Why are you two doing this to me? The whole time, they're both following me around, laughing, having the time of their life. Why are you so scared, Mom? It's just a little spider. This was probably 10-15 minutes of them doing this. Finally, they gave up and they got rid of the spider. And at that moment in time, I thought, well, shit. I'm going to have to learn to get over my fear of spiders, because if not, these kids are going to torture me as they get older. So I went about getting past my fear, and when I would see a spider, I'd go into that fight or flight, and I'd remind myself it's just a little spider. It's no big deal. No, I would not gently take it outside in the beginning. I couldn't. I was terrified to even be killing it or getting near it. But here I was, having to force myself to just jump in and get this spider. So I'd grab paper towel, or I'd grab toilet paper, whichever was closest. I'd grab the thing and I'd smush and I'd flush it down the toilet, and I would stand there and make sure that the toilet paper went down the fucking toilet, because I was so terrified of spiders. But I knew I had to overcome this fear, or my kids were going to torture me again. 4 and 5, mind you. So I knew I was in for a world of hurt. So eventually got to the point where I don't like spiders, but as long as they're not bothering me, I don't have the irrational fear that I used to have. I can greatly just deal with spiders. Unless you're talking like black widows or brown recluse, things like that, then I'm not messing with those ones. But your basic spiders, I'm okay with now. But that was a really good lesson to learn when I was in my mid-20s. And once I got over the fear of spiders on my own, I started to rationalize with myself that if I can get past that, then can't I use that to get past other fears? And I had an irrational fear of fire. I don't know where. I think it came from being a child, because I grew up in low-income housing, and there were probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 families that had moved in over the years. We stayed there from the time I was 6 until I was 18. Well, at least I did. My mom was still there after that. And so I had met, I want to say it was 2 or 3, but it may have been 4. Anyways, these families had been displaced because of a fire. They lost everything. And they came back and they stayed for 2 or 3 years and got themselves back on track, and then they left. Well, I just remember the devastation when they first got there and you met them. So I kind of grew up with this irrational fear of fires. But I loved having fires. So if we had a fire out in the backyard or whatever, there always had to be a garden hose near it. And if there wasn't, I would drag it out to where we were at. And we couldn't be near trees because it would freak me out. And I think that's where my fear came from, but I don't know for a fact. So anyways, as time progressed, I'm like, okay, I've got to get past this fear. And then I just started using that same, okay, if I'm afraid, I just have to go towards it. As my children became into junior high and high school, was when I would tell them, when they would tell me that they were scared or they're afraid of something. And I'm not talking like true fear, like life or death fear. That's not what I'm talking. I'm just talking just fears. And I remember telling my kids that fear is where you need to go, because that fear it's there because it's change. Fear is nothing more than change, and change is not easy. But if you can learn to accept and adapt to change and fear, you're unstoppable. The sky is the freaking limit, and the sky is like infinite, so have at it. Anyways, I just wanted to share that story with you, that you really have to figure out how to get over your fear. And if you're not sure how to do that, feel free to reach out. I'll gladly help you get past your fear. Some fears are legit, and some of them are truly irrational, like my spider fear. And I don't know why I ever got the spider fear, but it was horrible. I was awful with it. And then my kids, it taught me a really hard lesson when they were babies and I was young. So if you have fears, and I'm not talking life or death type stuff, but if you have fears, feel free to reach out. We can work on your fears and get you to accepting change. So like when I was going to look at buying RVs, it was 2022. It was March or April, I started like actively looking. And I was originally going to buy the Class C, which is the one that has the bunk over the front seats. It looks like a van front end, the Class C. I was going to buy one of them because I was terrified. There was a huge fear of getting into a Class A and driving it because it was just so massive for me. And I'm not a very big woman, so it was intimidating. And my youngest son, who's grown now, I think he's 30 now. 30 and 31 I got. So my youngest son says to me one night, he had been drinking, but he looked at me and he goes, well, why aren't you getting a Class A? And I'm like, because I'm afraid to drive it. And he looked at me and he goes, what did you teach us? Didn't you teach us that we're supposed to go towards our fear? He goes, I think you should get a Class A. And he said this to me and all I thought was, shit. My words come back to bite me in the ass. Okay, he's right. So I started looking at Class A's and realized that I could get more of an RV for less price, and there were plenty of them. So if I wanted a class C that I wanted, I was going to be spending about $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 for the same type of RV, same year and all the stuff that I was looking at for class A's. I could get a bigger RV for $25,000 to $35,000. And so that's what I did. So I bought the RV, Class A, and I have no regrets. Honestly, I'm extremely thankful to my son Devin for saying that to me, because honestly, if I would have bought the Class C, I can assure you I would have been in debt longer with the thing and I wouldn't have been happy. This is more comfortable, having the slide out and everything. It's kind of like having a small little apartment. And I did have a small little 1-bedroom apartment before this that I lived in for a year and a half. So, and I've kind of been a minimalist for a while, so I really don't need a lot. But if you have issues with fears, especially irrational ones, give me a call. We'll work through it for you. I learned this when I was young. So change is nothing more than basically you're afraid. You're afraid because right here's your comfort zone. You know what to expect here. When you step outside your comfort zone, you don't know what to expect. However, what you don't realize is stepping outside your comfort zone is where life is. If you are staying in your comfort zone and following your strict routine, you're not living. You're actually a fucking walking dead person. You're not living. You're just going through the motions of being here on Earth. But if you truly want to have an amazing experience and enjoy a lot of new things and new people, then you have to step outside your comfort zone. And that can be scary at first. I personally, I love change. I crave it every so often. If I'm stuck somewhere and I start feeling like, oh my God, everything's just the same thing day in and day out, I know at that point that I want change, that it will make me feel alive again. So change is very important for me. And I will help you figure out how you can get to enjoying change and learning to live outside your comfort zone, because your comfort zone is familiar to you. Outside that comfort zone, it's not familiar, but that's where you experience new things. You meet new people, you find new connections, you discover things about yourself that you never knew. And it's a great experience. And the more you do it, the more you thrive on it. So feel free to reach out. We can help you through whatever you need for your fear. Because my 4 and 5-year-old helped me get over it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this story. I'm going to go back out and do some more deliveries here pretty soon. I just wanted to touch base and throw this story out there so you can see that we can get past it and that getting out of our comfort zone is an important thing. Anyways, have a great day, guys. Love ya. Bye.